Yo guys, what is going on? It is Invin here, and today what I'm bringing to you all is a quick video on the PTR Summer Patch Notes 1. Now these are going to be important notes because anybody that is playing the PTR, of course, these will directly affect you straight away. And of course, these notes will actually be affecting the live game whenever this patch is released. Again, we're expecting this patch to be at some point during July, towards the end of the month, but I'll keep you guys updated with that. But all of these changes will be taking place on that version of the build, so in turn will be coming to the live servers as well. So what I'm going to do today is kind of go through the main bulk of the points, list off some of the most important points, but generally just cover the themes and any interesting things that we've seen from this patch, because there is a lot of stuff like fixes and kind of visual fixes, typo fixes, which I'm not going to go over everything, but I'm going to pick out some of the best ones, and as always I will leave these patch notes linked in the description below, so if you guys want to check them out for yourselves, you can go ahead and do so. Now remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already done so. Both those things massively help me out, and let's jump into it. So generally they've done a few fixes to things like the Death's Door music, things where players are not able to fully hear the medley bonfire, all that kind of good stuff. We're going to skip through some of those, although they're important because I want to kind of get the general themes out. Faction control points, this is a big one. They fixed an issue where players were unable to leave an open world fort if there was an active war or invasion inside an instance in the pre-war phase. So you'll no longer get stuck in forts while you're capping them if you didn't look at the warboard. That's all fixed now, so that's a really, really important one. Combat and AI general fixes here. This is a really important one. They've reduced Flurry's base stamina by 25% down to 75% depending on the attack. And also here they've reduced the Hatchet's base stamina damage based on the tier of the weapon from 36 to 42 down to 24 to 30. So 6 less at maximum than what was the base before. So do bear that in mind. That's a huge decrease to stamina damage there. They've also done the same with the Rapier. So they've gone from 26 to 32 down to 22 to 28. So again, right at that top end, you're still going to get more than the base was before. So not quite as much of a nerf as the Hatchet. But because these weapons attack a lot faster, I do think this makes sense. It's just something that you need to be aware of, particularly when fighting against people like tanks or sword and shield users that have that little bit of extra block viability. Now, moving down into the PvP arenas, the status effects that were applied by consumables are now restored back to what they were upon entering the PvP arena after returning to the open world from the arena. So if you have a 40-minute, let's say, trade skill buff active and you go in with 38 minutes remaining to that arena, you will now get 38 minutes and counting, so 37 or whatever, once you come out of that arena instead of it disappearing whilst you go in, which again is great to catch on the PTR. It hasn't been in the live servers, but it's something that we now won't have to encounter, so that's fantastic. Perks here, you guys will probably know I'm making a video on this. There's a ton of perk changes with this update. Some really important ones. Siege Ward PvP perk now will reduce the OPR repeater turret damage. It wasn't before, it will do now, so do bear that in mind. You might see less damage numbers if you're using the turrets, and you also might be taking less if you have this perk on. You'll also see that they've reduced the max amount of targets that could trigger Refreshing Mighty Gavel perk from 3 to 2. It's going to make the Warhammer just a little bit more balanced there because it was overreacting a slight bit. Here, this is an interesting one. They've reduced the values of the Iced Refresh perk from 20% to 77%, which is 100% on weapons, to 10 to 43% or 75% max on weapons. Allowed the Ice Refresh perk to trigger on a killing blow from Spiky, Reach, as well as the Mighty Spike. Now, specifically with each weapon, we've seen a few changes. Really importantly, with the bow, we've seen reduced damage bonus from some of the bow's passives that are up the majority of combat, in other words, persistent buffs. Evasive tactics and long range have been reduced from 20% to 15% on both of those. And also, we've seen a buff to the damage of Explosive Arrow. So this is going to be increased damage of the base explosion to 135% from 125, so up 10% there. And also increased damage of the Contained Detonation upgrade from 150 to 170%, so a 20% damage increase there. Again, really increasing the viability of this, and might mean that it's something that a lot of players want to pick up or at least try out if you are playing the PTR. Now again, some of the other weapons have had some more minor fixes. I will leave the link down below to these notes so you guys can check individually for your weapons, but that's just going to be the one I wanted to cover there. Then in terms of the economy and progression, they've fixed multiple display issues when crafting cases of materials using the perfect salvage materials. So again, some of you guys were kind of saying that there was issues when you were trying to sort this stuff out with the new perfect salvage system. That should be fixed now, which is fantastic. Also, gear and items then. Empowering Rupture has been changed to Refreshing Rupture, and this one hits with Essence Rupture now reduce its cooldown by 10, 31 and 49% faster. And then also Mending Infected Throw has been changed to Exhausted Infected Throw, which direct hit with the Infected Throw cause exhaustion, reducing the stamina regeneration by 10, 20 or 31% for 10 seconds. So again, these depend on whether you've got them on the weapons, whether you've got them on the armor, etc. and the gear score, that sort of thing. But yeah, those have been updated, so it's important to know about. Also, they've removed the reference of the expedition access on items that were previously used in the key crafting. As you know, we're going orbless and completely keyless systems for the expeditions with the summer update, so you won't be needing any of those materials for that. They are getting repurposed, and things like the corrupted fragments can now be used in the territory standing packages instead, so that's really, really good. Also then, moving down to the rewards/loot, here you will see that they've fixed issues with the lost sack of coins, allowing it to be opened correctly now, so you can actually get this reward. And also, beautiful baskets and exquisite baskets now have a 2.5 and 3.5% chance, respectively, to drop common crafting patterns, so that's pretty cool. Down here, you will see that taxes, they fixed an issue where tax cooldowns were sometimes not reset after territory ownership was changed. So now if you do get territory ownership and you want to reduce or increase those taxes straight away, regardless of when the previous owning faction or company did that, you should now get that refreshed as it was in the live version before this PTR update. So that's really, really good as well. Again, hasn't affected live servers and shouldn't do going forward, but it's just worth noting. Also, another good one here with the crafting trade skills, they have updated all of the materia-based expedition replicas to no longer award territory influence, so you won't get territory influence for crafting those, and also updated the associated trade skill of the materia based expedition replica weapons. Everything should now award the expected XP. In other words, crafting a weapon, weaponsmithing XP, crafting armor, it's going to be armoring XP. So those should actually work properly now, which is cool. And then obviously we've seen some more UX, UI and social changes here. Again, I'm not going to go through all of these. There is a lot of really important stuff. But if you guys do want to check it out, like I said before previously, you can check the notes in the description for yourselves. In-game store, again, I'm not going to go through because it is just for the PTR, but you can also look at those. And then quality of life, we've seen they fixed an issue with the progression text when viewing crafting results. So it should actually show you what you will actually be receiving at the end of a craft now properly. Again, for anyone playing the PTR, this is slightly more important. For those playing when it comes to live, it's probably going to be the same as it is now, so you won't need to worry too much. But that's pretty good. And also fixed an issue where players on the PTR could not interact with the trading post. If you play in the PTR, you now should be able to, which is going to make a huge difference and hopefully make the PTR a lot smoother. Again, they've fixed the issue where some of the expedition bosses were giving less gold in mutators. Obviously, after the loot updates, this was a big thing. That wasn't intentional, which is great. So they should now be up to regular and give at least the same amount as the regular ones, if not more, which is fantastic. And then finally here, global mutators in the expeditions. They've fixed an issue that resulted in the glacial mutator effect to be stuck on a player if they exited and re-entered the slow AoE. So now you won't get stuck with the consistent glacial effect, which is good. And also now Shiver now shows on the nameplates and delivers damage. So that one works as it should have been from the start. So again, you'll actually see that gameplay feature come into play a lot more. So that is going to be it. As I said, there is a few more notes than what I've covered here, but this generally gives you the gist and the direction of the update. The notes will be in the description if you guys want to check it out for yourself, but hopefully this helps to keep you updated with the latest news and events from the PTR, which, like I said, will affect the live servers once this update goes live. So hopefully keeping you in the loop with that is something you're interested in. If you have enjoyed and you haven't already done so, please do make sure you drop me a like and subscribe down below. Both those things hugely help to support the channel, so I'd really appreciate it. And other than that, I will catch you guys again very shortly with a brand new upload. So thanks for your time, thanks for watching, take care, and peace.